Yes, good morning, dear viewers, and welcome to Gaza Media. This is The Voice, and it is Friday morning, the 9th of 26th of 2025, and we'll be doing some updates on the GBHS Fontem and Lumina. As you may know, this is school resumption period. We will be talking on what the students are doing to support their alma mater. Globally, the role of the student has always been to provide scholarship, some form of scholarship, didactic material to the current student, and also to leverage doing some network within themselves. And it has not changed for a very long time in decades since alumina was first created. And today we will be actually dissecting into some of those kind of discussion, especially with the GBHS Fontem in Menji, which is located in the BLM headquarters, that has been tortured for over 8 years, where the students were not able to go to school until last year when they start schooling at a temporary location in the capital city of Menji in the BLM. And we'll be discussing on that and how all the students from 1981 to the present 2016, where the war erupted, what has transpired, and what will be the way forward. And we'll be bringing in the president of the second batch of the GSS from them at that time, that was 1982, who is Mr. Dennis Alembong. And many of you may have known him, but for those that will not know, doesn't know him, we'll be bringing him up to the screen so that we'll dive into some of the discussion. And he will be presenting to us what he is doing in his own class. Yes. Mr. Dennis, you are welcome to Gaza Media.
Thank you, brother Ernest. It's my pleasure to be with you this afternoon in Cameroon and morning over there in the United States.
Yes, thank you so much. I know the first time I saw you was when you attended. I think that was the nine batch, the Gaza 8990, the nine batch in Douala, and they grant you an interview. So you are of the second batch.
Yes, 1982 to 1987 batch. I was the
Mm-hmm.
second batch.
Yeah, the second batch, and you have not had any convention or any come together as such. But I have spoken to some of your friends here, like I think Kemkong, Julius, and Mr. Josh Tasley. He mentioned to me that you are planning to have a convention in April of next year, 2026. Can you just give us more light on that, since you are on the ground?
Yes, thank you. In my capacity as the President General of the second batch, I feel very involved, and I take this convention, which is coming up on April 2026, as a big project for us. The first ever convention we are holding, uh, the interest for us to know that even though we are of the second batch, we started organizing ourselves very lately. So that the by far younger batches that have gone ahead of us in organization. So we just started being serious and coming together as a batch. That's about 2 years ago. And so we saw the convention as an opportunity to gather momentum for a solid alma mater. We are trying to build the general grammar school alma mater from the first batch to the latest. But each batch has to first of all fix its house because the different batches are like the pillars of the house. So if
Hmm.
each pillar is strong, the house may not be very strong. So for now, we are trying to build that association, as I told you, is still and that one
Yes.
of yes, know that one of the major impulses that we can make use to make this association very strong is to have that annual convention. And the convention is bringing all the students, second batch students of grammar school, 1987, 1982 batch, which graduated in 1987. We got to grammar school in September 1982 and graduated in June 1987. So any person who was with us in this journey of 5 years, or who left even before we completed the journey of 5 years to other schools, is part of our alma mater.
Okay.
We have been speaking to each other only online. We have had very little occasion to meet physically, even those who are in Cameroon, because we are dispersed all over the country and all over the world. So we said that it will be a very wonderful opportunity for us to meet in person physically. You
So
can
this
imagine.
is going to be this is more like kind of a global come together where you have people from the diaspora and people from Cameroon coming together.
Yes, yes, it will be a wonderful come together, because you can imagine, if you do your little calculations, that from 1987, when we left grammar school to different high schools and some people to different occupations, 1987 to 2025, 2026, that will be meeting in person. For some people, it will be more than 30 years. And we just came together as very innocent as we were, still children from one. And then we separated in 1987. And we are now very old people. We have not seen each other. So you can imagine the fun. We want to make it very, very interesting. And we want to use that opportunity, that occasion, to thank the Almighty Lord, because many of us who got into the classrooms of grammar school in 1982 are no longer part of this earth.
Okay.
God has called
Yes.
us. So it's a
Mr. Tens,
wonderful.
meeting in Goya, you talk about one of the objectives is to reunite. Is there any other thing apart from just socializing, seeing each other, maybe in terms of fundraising? Because I think you must have seen that the current reconstruction committee that is being headed by Dr. Bernard Mbeba about the fundraising that is currently going up to maybe do some kind of infrastructure work in the school campus. Is that
Yes,
something that you are discussing within your own group?
yes, we have so many. That convention will bear many fruits. It's our great wish that it should bear many fruits. One of which I said is mobilization, that we come together for the first time after so many years of separation, physically feel each other's warmth, crack jokes, play as we were, make a lot of fun as we were as kids in 1982. Secondly, we intend to have a first in-person General Assembly meeting where, looking eyeball to eyeball, we'll talk about issues of our own branch of the alma mater, and feel each person's idea directly, and take very far-reaching convention resolutions that will empower us more and more. Number three, we will turn our attention to the school itself. Most of us, some of us are professors in the university, some are medical doctors, some are engineers, some are health technicians, some are we are all in different fields of life, thanks to that foundation that we had in grammar school. So we cannot forget the mother that delivered us, our post primary school mother that delivered us and then nurtured us for 5 years and contributed a lot to what we are today. So we will, in doing that convention, also try to see how we can accelerate our support. The school is going through very trying times now, and you know your best friend in times of difficulties. So we have to come in to save that school, because when we have our conversations, many of us, including me, say that without President Aiju having given that school, most of us, their own education will have been at the post-primary level, because I mean it would have ended at the primary level, because secondary schools then were very far away, and the lone secondary school then, Seat of Wisdom, was very expensive for most of us children of poor farmers. So that school has contributed a lot to where we are, and we must think of that school at this difficult moment. We know that currently there is a financial fund drive to see how they can rehabilitate the school. That they have shared 1 million francs to each batch. I can assure you, as the President General of our association, the second batch, that is a challenge for us to meet that expectation. The convention will enable us to raise money to see how we fulfill that engagement. I think a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. Um, there will be a moment that we'll be holding those conventions in the school, and together with the students, the contemporary students in the school. For now, we have not yet got to that level, unfortunately, not because of our own making, but because of the pain, because of the insecurity situation. It is very true, as as you rightly said, that holding the convention in Menji will have boosted confidence and alleviated fear, which is a main factor inhibiting the smooth takeoff of that institution. Yes, it is true. But however, you know that given the prevailing situation in the southwest and the northwest region, and given the effect of fear in the psyche of every ordinary human being, um, we would not want an occasion to be scanty, because some people may just be taken by that element of fear, which maybe nothing would really have happened if they were there, and then will not have had the mobilization that it deserves. And if we are holding the convention out of Benji, the locale of the school, I think we are not. Unfortunately, some of our own brothers and sisters have made things very difficult for us to help our own people. We don't know why education, who invited education into politics of liberation, because the liberated people, illiterates, remain stuck illiterate and remain oppressed people. You cannot be an illiterate in a modern world where education is at the center of everything, and you are locked in illiteracy because you were refused the right to have education, and the same people tell you that they have liberated you. Without education, you are not liberated. And so we are struggling to make sure that even from a distance, we do our own quarter. Remember, it is frank. I like frank talk. It is easy to say that having the convention elsewhere will discourage, will not give the necessary courage that will have made some people to send the children there to school. But we have to know that most of the children who are schooling in grammar school now, the few that are there now, and the ones that are in City of Wisdom, are those who are residents in the place, whose parents are resident in the place. It will be very foolhardy for somebody who is not resident in the place and have mastered the contours of security guarantees, the security situation, and how to move, the survival instincts and behavior that will make you avoid falling into danger, to come and then spend a night, especially when they know that you are coming with money to help develop the school, especially also as some of gangs of thieves have invaded the struggle. And it will be a very good opportunity for them, not only to stop us from doing what will help the school, but also to help stop us from building and achieving the goals of the convention. So it
Yes,
doesn't matter.
but Mr. Dennis, yeah, you are talking about, I mean, the value of education in the community, which nobody can dispute that. But why do you think the crisis, why do you think those that are in charge of the crisis have to involve school, knowing so well that something that's, when we talk of school, it should be something that people should not even be negotiating whether children should go to school or not.
I didn't get you the
No,
last
no,
part of the question.
my question to you is, why do you think we should even be negotiating if children to go to school or not, knowing the value of education as you have highlighted?
Well, in a normal situation, which is not the situation now is not normal. In a rational, among rational thinking human beings, which the situation shows that we are no longer thinking rationally. We shouldn't do that. You don't beg your own for your own children to go to school. People don't come and beg for you for your own children to go to school, because children's education is human development, and human resource is the capital resource, is the greatest resource of all resources that we have. There are countries that don't have any natural resources, but they are very far advanced because of the powerful human resources they have. But if we can deprive us ourselves of our own most fundamental resources, or resource that humanity can be proud of, which is education. It's like they say in my language, you are putting a stick on your own foot to sharpen. I know what that will mean. It is unfortunate. It's an illogical and a situation we cannot understand, because you can't pick up guns to defend your own people. And the greatest victims of your guns are those same people you want to defend. What is education? What has education got to do with liberation? I keep asking that question. You are liberating the land for who? For illiterates? So it is very unfortunate, my brother. I think that we have struggled in the little way we can to make some of the stakeholders in this fight know that it is a terrible misplacement of priorities when they put education as a fighting tool for liberation. It is a fighting tool for oppression and not for liberation. So we need to educate the people more. I was shocked in 1982 when we got to grammar school. We were not less than 150 students in one class. And I'm shocked that the school is now a bilingual school, which in the context of Cameroon means it's a two schools in one. There's the Francophone school and there's the English speaking school together. That's how bilingual schools function in Cameroon, under one principal, two different programs, two different educational systems. So two schools in one, from one to upper seat. We cannot boast of 30 students. And the problem is that, not that we don't have the students, the catchment schools, which are the primary schools, the feeder schools, which are the primary schools that fed these schools with people, with graduating pupils who become students in these colleges. The problem is that our own have used the schools, the education, as a fighting instrument. You cannot use your child to beat somebody who has a cutlass against you. You carry your child and use as a weapon to beat that person. Obviously, you are killing the child. And when you kill the child, you are killing your offspring. So we need to talk about this, and talk about this courageously. so that people should go to school. I don't know how children going to school affects the struggle negatively. I don't know. Somebody needs to convince me.
Yes, Mr. Dean, thank you so much for that explanation. I think our audience are listening. I think the stakeholder, those involved are listening. That education is a fundamental human right. Every child have the right to go to school, especially when the school are available or where the resources are available for them. Now, last time you mentioned that the class council, because there are so many batches since 1981 up to 2016 where the school was temporarily put to halt. There have been, I think, over like probably about 30 something batches. Can you tell us more about the council of the batches that will govern all these batches? Because you also mentioned that when the structure is formed, they will be able to develop a constitution or a bylaw that will govern all these class by class or class batches. What is the progress?
Yes, I said it, and some of the batches have gone very far. Some of the batches have advanced very far in terms of their organization, in terms of building themselves as an institution, as a moral entity. They have gone very far. They have done a lot of things. They have gone back to help the school a lot. Some are still limping. Some are just beginning to rally around. The especially the old batches like the first and the second batch. We are not to talk of the third and so on. So one of the things that I cautioned is that we should try to help each other take into consideration that the batches are not at the same level, and so we try to do much of the exchanges in order to bring the batches at the same level. There are some batches you won't imagine that are not even organized into an association.
Hmm.
There are some like that. So we need to deal with such situations. Because when we form the general alma mater that includes all the batches to the latest, no batch should be included. And we are not calling individuals. People are not coming in as individuals. You come into the mother association through a batch. And if we were to form a government to handle the overall association of the batch, students will not come, will not be a popular government vote. We want to use electoral college people, different batches will send representatives. And it's the same way we are working. That is why we form that council. It's not every ex-student who's a member of that council. The different council batches send executive members, two executive members to be of that council, so that we reflect and be at the same in unison on the
Hmm.
nature of our general alma mater to be. We started off that the first thing which is important to us, which is died to us, to our existence, is the constitution and the internal rules and regulations, which can help us, which can guide us how we will function. Because you can't bring people, we can't build a structure without some rules that guide how people will function in the association. So we have taken that as a matter of priority. And the second batch, which my humble self and the president was given the role to develop that association, that constitution, and bring it up for a discussion. We had worked on that constitution almost to the end. It was a matter of us to present it to the council for them to see what can be touched, what can be removed or added, and have a consensus on it. And we consulted other batches constitutions. For us, it was the methodology of work for us was to take the different batches constitutions and then try to harmonize into one. When I was doing that responsibility, I handed it to Dr. Barrister Mofo Evaristus, who's a seasoned man of the law, and it is his area of specialty. He had done a lot of work on it. It will have been completed now and will have already discussed and agreed on what to do as far as this is concerned.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the man had some health issues, so immediately he's strong enough, and he's getting strong very well. Immediately he's strong enough,
So
we'll be off
at least in the nutshell, there's some great work that has been done so far.
our progress on the level of the constitution.
Okay.
When we get that constitution adopted, then many other things will follow. And you see, then secondly, because you asked of what the different parties together agree. Recently, you yourself mentioned we are trying to make a fund drive to get the immediate urgent thing that the school needs to be effective. And so each batch is giving 1 million francs. We were 15 batches, we have 15 million. So each we have commissioned different batches to work at their own levels to make sure that we raise this money. I can assure you that our own will be available.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that's one of the questions that I wanted to ask you that because I think they proposed they solicited that 1 million and gave a time frame of about 3 months, but your fundraising is coming on in April. That is probably maybe 6 months from now. W- Will you be able to meet up that target if you want to go to do that fundraising, or you have some other mechanism that you can do fundraising online or whatever?
Do it latest by April, our money will be ready. We'll do
Okay,
it.
yeah,
We'll do it. I
yeah.
think that God has blessed us, our batch. We have all types of human resource to raise 1 million will not be killing to us. We'll be able to raise it because we all know the need. And when money comes and start going on in school, it will encourage our own brothers, and they will feel a little bit ashamed or embarrassed how serious people are putting their money to undo what they have done. And I think it will be encouragement for them too to say yes, let's leave this thing go, and so that our children can go to school. We know we encourage back to school of resumption of classes in grammar school in by many ways, by
Yeah.
talking, by providing material, and in many
Yes.
different ways. So I think we'll get it.
Mr. Dennis, let me ask you this last one question before we end this segment. I think I've seen a video clip from concerning this breast cancer. It seemed like a younger generation uh, are not really involved. I think from around the batch of say the 20th batch going up to the 36 batch, it seemed like they are not nobody. They don't have any representation or nothing is functioning. But when you see from the first batch, second, third, fourth to the 9, the 11 to 12 batch, they are very solid.
Yes, in all fairness to them, these late young batches, they are still, most of them, many of them are still grappling with life, with a lot of preoccupations of how their life will be like. When you see the older batches, majority of them are already a bit stable, and so they can come back and have time to come back and reflect on this. Apart from that factor, which is not a negligible factor, we should understand this. And then the maturity of the old people also
Hmm.
matters a lot. The maturity of the old people. You don't expect some of whom are even our children, to have the same mindset that we and maturity that we have. I think what is important is that we should always be reaching out to them and
Hmm.
asking to be organized. They are even better placed to be more organized in the present global world than us, because most of them are master
Also, they are
internet.
technology savage. Yeah, they know this technology so well.
Yes, they
So they,
master those, so they don't need to physically come together. Some of them are even into AI. They can do a lot of things from distances. Distance is not a barrier. Most of them master some of those things more than us, the older generation. So they can organize themselves. We should only encourage them. I think if even you have mentioned right up to the seventh batch, at the beginning, these batches were not all together. It was the encouragement that people came. So I don't want to start blaming them, but
Mhm.
I want to only encourage them. We have to multiply efforts to encourage them because even within our own batches, let me talk about my batch. In our own batches, we spend a lot of time to convince people, some people to adhere, to bring them on board. It takes a lot of time, little contributions, it takes a lot of effort before some people do it in time. So that is human nature. When you are a leader and at a leading position, you should understand how human nature works and don't lose patience because it is gradual by gradual that some will see the dream now, some will see it only tomorrow, some will see it next week, some will see next year. You must take that factor into consideration and not be discouraged. And I hope you are not ending without me coming back to my convention.
Yes, and that's what I wanted to say. The convention again is, I think, it was April 4th in Boya, around Monaco.
Yes, on the April, we all agreed on that date that it was convenient to everybody, including those in the diaspora. And we expect every member, each and every one of our members to be there as a couple. Whether you are coming from whatever part of the world, whether you are coming into the convention ground from Cameroon, you should be there as a couple because our wives and our husbands, that is, in short, our spouses, are part and parcel of us. We have made them honorary members. So it will be high time in Boya. Come April, the convention is holding at Bishop Awa Memorial Center in Boya. We have already booked, to tell you how serious it is, we have already booked the venue because it's a highly courted venue and we don't want to get to towards the period and they tell us that when we want to have our convention, the place has been booked already. So we intend to converge in Boya for 2 days of fun, of meeting old friends, of revival, of jokes, of enjoyment and entertainment. Among our highlights, we'll have a big party. We invite special guests and we invite the media like Gaza Media. We invite musicians to stage live. There will be live stage. Apart from the more serious business or meeting that we'll have, we'll go on excursion, barbecue, and everybody, every member, every person, each and every one of us has to lodge at Bishop Hour Resort. Even if you are in Boya, during the convention, you leave your house, you take a taxi or you drive your car to the place. We stay there for 2 weeks, all of us. The rooms have been booked. We have fun. At the end of the convention, while some take their taxis to their house in Boya, some take their cars to their house in Boya, some take their cars to the different towns of Cameroon, some take their buses to different towns of Cameroon, some take their planes to the different parts of the world. It's a very great event. So we are very happy to have partnered with Gaza Media for this media mobilization. You are doing a wonderful job, and I just came as a President General to open the series of interviews that to mobilization. We have a lot of things to do with our media, as you know, to make sure that this convention is given the widest publicity because we want everybody to be there, whether you are in Cameroon or you are anywhere in the world. The only people who will not be there are people who are so sick that they cannot leave their beds, or people that God has already called them to the other world. And we intend also to bring in our principals. Our principal will have been there. Late John Atewa, who was our pioneer principal, is no longer of this world. God called him to glory. We will have invited him. Our second principal, who took as principal when we were in Form 4, Form 5, Mr. Kempo Romanos, he is not very well. He cannot travel to Boya, if not, we'll have brought him. But I can assure you that we have our pioneer teachers. They will be there with us. We have talked with many of them, some in the States, some in Cameroon. They will also be in this convention. And one of the highlights of this convention is we are preparing an almanac of our batch, which we will launch during this convention, which will carry the photos of all our members and their information. And this is important because we want to help each other. If you are a medical doctor and you know that your classmate is, if you are a patient and you know that your classmate is a medical doctor specialized in the illness that you are suffering from, you can liaise with him for a lot of assistance. That's why that's one of the importance of this almanac. We should know who is who where, who we can go to for something because classmates relationships are deep and long lasting. We'll have also the occasion during this convention to showcase our uniform. Well, we started with the muffler is some sort of uniform that we have decided to make so that when we get somewhere in an event, we identify ourselves with that muffler. So these are some of the things that we are going to do in the convention. So it is a must come for all of us. And of course, as I said, the occasion will not be uniquely just for second batch. We have prepared good invitations that we will send out to other batches and we'll send out to our good friends and the good friends of our spouses. It will be a very big event come April 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Dennis. That was a wonderful presentation. I can enjoy, imagine the kind of ambience that will take place in Boya on uh, that fateful weekend, starting Friday, April 3rd, all the way as you are explaining. Hope that many folks are listening to us. As we said, we'll continue to have dialogue, especially concerning this education, the issue of children going to school, the hindrance, where there's supposed to be no hindrance, and all of that. We'll be discussing this as time goes on with the fundraising, see how we can build this or to resemble what we had at that time. And again, I want to thank you so much for this morning time and for this afternoon in Cameroon time.
The pleasure has been mine, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yes, dear viewer, rather we have come to the we've come to the end of this program again. The second batch of GBHS Fontem will be having their first ever come together on April the 3rd of 2026. That is next year. Meanwhile, the nine batch will be having their own come together in Maryland on this weekend of October. That should be the 4th of that should be the Saturday the 4th. That is next week in Maryland. Until then, we'll see you next time. And bye bye.